Good afternoon, and welcome to Uniquely Urbandale, a service of webcast1live.com for the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce. Remember, it's Uniquely Urbandale. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and my special guest today is Sherry Gupta. And Sherry, 11 years ago, started a business, a 501c3, so it's a not-for-profit, called CultureAll. CultureAll. And you can check them out at their website, CultureAll.com. And what you do is you create cultural experiences from other places in the world for people to have at events or parties or things like that?
Yep. And the majority of what we do actually takes place in the schools. But we bring in people who live right here in our community. Most of them were born in other countries, and work with them to create an experience that's very unique to them.
Yeah, and you call them cultural ambassadors.
Right.
So if a person was Asian and they wanted to help you create an Asian experience, could that be food?
Yeah, food, music,
dance, okay.
Language, absolutely.
And then that cultural ambassador is kind of in charge of that culture.
Well, actually, we have several cultural ambassadors from a single culture.
Okay.
So, for example, with India, we could do a workshop on yoga. It could be the food. There could be dancing. We have some games. So all kinds of opportunities.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but I've been to events where there has been cultures from other countries kind of entertained us. My guess is that may have come from you.
It very well could have. Yep.
Okay. So what's the passion behind this? Why did you start this?
Well, I have always had an interest in other cultures. I was an anthropology major at Grinnell College.
Oh, my.
When I worked at Principal International, I led the Global Awareness Training Program. And then when I started having my own children, my neighbor called me up and asked if I would help put on a culture day at our elementary school. And at that point, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to do this with kids as well.
Yeah. Now, I'd love to have one of your kids sitting here, because what would they tell me it was like with Mom off on these excursions to all these different cultures?
Well, don't ask my own kids, but you could ask some of the others who have been in our programs. And I have parents who will bring their kids over and introduce me to say, do you remember when CultureAll came to your school? And the kids just light up as
they remember it.
They do remember it.
Now, you have a beautiful brochure, and I'm guessing that I could see a lot of these pictures on your website also.
Yep.
And you've got, it looks like Native American. You've got Indian, which is not the Native American.
Right.
And it looks like you have someone here from Bosnia. Now, I would think that would be a big deal, because we have a lot of Bosnian refugees here.
Yep, we sure do. Actually, Des Moines has, how many different cultures? Well, let me tell you, CultureAll represents more than 30 cultures with our cultural ambassadors. And there are many other communities that are not yet represented by CultureAll, but Des Moines has the minority are now the majority in Des Moines public schools.
Right, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Caucasian male or female is no longer the majority in Des Moines, Iowa.
That's right.
And I think that's good, isn't it? I mean, isn't that it just seems like we have so many other cultures, since we're talking about that, throughout our community in so many different ways.
In fact, research studies show that throughout history, the communities or the societies that have been prosperous are those who have been open to other cultures.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's good. And you wouldn't think that from Iowa. You know, you'd kind of think of us as we're just going to kind of go sit behind the barn and chew on some hay and make sure the chickens are fed. But in fact, we're not that way at all.
No, and I think a lot of that legacy is Governor Robert Ray.
Okay.
With the immigrants or the refugees that originally came in. And we've been a very open community. And I think Iowa is at a great position because we have not yet had the cultural strife that a lot of communities have had. We still are very open and accepting to other people.
Yeah.
And we're becoming global at a time where we know we have to be global.
Wow. All right. This is very interesting. So is it fair to ask you which would be your favorite culture?
No.
No? Okay. Your top 2 or 3?
I can tell you that I know a lot about Indian culture because my husband is from India.
Okay. And so you kind of live in that culture
I do.
as well as have that culture around you.
My home is my laboratory.
Oh, my. All right. Well, people can get a hold of you by going to www.culturalall.com.
Yep. That's CultureAll.
Very good. All right. Sherry Gupta has been our guest. Her business, her passion, her life is Cultural All, and been doing it 11 years. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's hard to start a small business, even a not-for-profit, but to have it around after 10 years, that means you're doing something right. So congratulations. All right. For the Urbandale Chamber of Commerce, or as we like to say, uniquely Urbandale, I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for watching. Powered by webcast1live.com.